The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and thanks for joining us for Saturday's news. In this edition, State Funeral Service for Sir Julius confirmed for tomorrow, tribute for him for late Sir Julius, and P&G Peppers assemble team for regional competition. The official funeral program for the late Sir Julius Chen has just been released by the Office of National Events. According to the program, Sir Julius will be in Port Moresby for just 3 days. His body flies back to New Ireland on Monday.
The program was drawn following a meeting between government officials and the immediate family. The official program, which began yesterday, will continue tomorrow, Sunday, 2nd February, with the state funeral service at St. Mary's Cathedral in downtown Port Moresby at 1 p.m. The casket will return to the funeral home before it is taken to the Sir John Guy Stadium at 6 p.m., where tributes from members of parliament and friends will take place. Prime Minister James Marape will deliver the keynote address on behalf of the country. The program at the stadium is expected to finish at 9 p.m. before the casket is transported back to the funeral home. On Monday, February 3rd, the casket will lie in state at the Grand Hall of Parliament for 2 hours, where members of Parliament and state dignitaries will pay their final respect. By 11 a.m., the casket departs the Grand Hall for APAC Terminal for his last flight out of Port Moresby and back to New Ireland, his final resting place. A 19-gun salute will be accorded to him at the terminal as the final send-off. Ruth Rongola, TVWAN News.
This state funeral service for late Sir Julius Chen will be held at St. Mary's Cathedral in downtown Port Moresby tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The church ground have been prepared for the Mass, which will be presided by the Bishop of Berena Diocese, Bishop Otto Sapari. Liturgy will be led by the New Highland community. Tomorrow's funeral service will be broadcasted live on TVWAN and live streamed on TVWAN online Facebook page as well. Meantime, Prime Minister James Marape said, despite the national government having initial plans to have a state tribute in Parliament, aligning with the 7-day notice requirement for a parliamentary recall, this will not happen as his family was firm in honouring his will. Sir Julius, in his will, wanted to be buried within 7 days in his home village in Namatanai, New Highland Province. In his will, he designated 3 days for the national government, 3 days for the province, and the 7th day for his burial. Marape said in light of his wish, which was explicit and clear, the government had to let go of the intention to have a grand farewell. Parliament will instead dedicate its first sitting in March to give condolence messages and recognition to Sir Julius' lifetime of service. And City Governor Powers Pakop says his respect and appreciation for Sir Julius Chen as a leader, but also a person. In his tribute, Pakop recalled his 17 years in Parliament, serving alongside Sir Julius.
6 and have 4 children. honoring the life and leadership of Sir Julius Chen. Governor for NCD Powers Pakop recalls the last 17 years since his election into Parliament, expressing the privilege of sharing that journey with Sir Julius until his passing. Pakop said, over the years he learned to respect and appreciate Sir Julius as a leader and as a person, stating that it was an absolute privilege and honor to be Sir Julius' guest for his 80th birthday celebration in his village of Huris in 2019. Governor Pakop further highlighted Sir Julius' medical emergency at the end of 2022 when he was undergoing medical treatment in Brisbane, Australia, but took time off to visit the NCD governor during his recovery in Gold Coast, Australia. Pakop states further that Sir Julius was a great leader of the PNG people and the nation. During his time, he had the courage and conviction to make monumental decisions that defined the country, nation, and people. Concluding his tribute, Pakop said, "I salute and pay tribute to Sir Julius Chen for his life and service to our nation and people. I extend my heartfelt and deepest condolences and sympathies to his family, the people of New Ireland, and members of his party, the People's Progress Party."
The Department of National Energy Authority has paid tribute to one of our founding fathers, late Sir Julius Chen, following his untimely passing on Thursday, 30 January. The department's executives, staff, and stakeholders paid tribute during the launching of their 4 guidelines yesterday in Port Moresby. Despite preparing for the launching of their 4 guidelines, the National Energy Authority has scaled down the program as a sign of respect to the late Sir Julius Chen. A 10-minute moment of silence was observed by the board's executives, stakeholders, staff, and the media who turned up to participate in the program. According to the NEA Managing Director Ronald Maketa, Papua New Guinea became independent because of the leadership of leaders like the late Sir Julius. Therefore, it is timely for the department to limit its program to join the rest of the country in mourning the untimely passing of the greatest leader who has contributed immensely to the growth and development of our country, Papua New Guinea.
For one of our last men standing now for fathers and the founders of this great nation. I believe the Prime Minister has announced public holiday for the next morning week for the next 1 week. We'll take a minute of silence in respect of our founding father and our last man standing. I believe when they had that vision 50 years ago, there were no infrastructures such as this that time. No stadium, no hotels. The roads were not sealed. Probably Jackson was receiving few airplane flights a week. So we'll take a minute of silence as a respect.
You're watching TVWAN News. We'll have the day's other stories after the break. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Meet the bank for everyone, everywhere. As People's Microbank, we were proud to be a bank for the people. Now as National Banking Corporation, we are bringing modern banking to all in Papua New Guinea. With more branches and our friendly staff ready to assist you in more places, we are making money matters simple and fair. So wherever you are, however you say it, say hello Better Banking. Learn more at nbcpng.com.pg.
At Digicel PNG Foundation, we are proud to announce the launch of another round of the community grants, a significant initiative aimed at empowering local communities to solve their own problems.
From the time we launched this initiative in 2019, we have given 92 grants totaling 4.5 million kina to over 70 organizations around the country. These local organizations have connected communities to water sources for the first time, built waiting homes for pregnant mothers, literacy centers for communities, health clinics in remote areas, classrooms for students, and safe houses for women at risk of violence.
At Digicel, we're not just connecting people, we're empowering communities.
Applications are now open.
Thanks for staying with us. UN Women Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific, Christine Hareb, concluded a 4-day visit to Papua New Guinea on Friday, reaffirming the organization's commitment to supporting the government of PNG's leadership in advancing gender equality and women's empowerment. The visit, which took place between 28 to 31st January 2025, strengthened partnerships and celebrated PNG's significant progress while addressing ongoing challenges.
During her meetings with Prime Minister James Marape and Minister for Community Development, Youth and Religion, Jason Peter, UN Women Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific, Christine Arab, recognized the important investments Papua New Guinea has made to tackle gender-based violence, increasing women-owned spaces for economic opportunities, and strategic enhancing of national legal frameworks to ensure women's equality. Arab's visit also included a bilateral meeting with youths from various organizations. Being her first visit to the country, she aims to learn more about how UN Women programs operate across the country.
I'm here this week. I've taken up the post recently, so want to get to as many of our country offices as I can. The Pacific resonates strong for me because what I know is from paper, so I want to hear from you.
The bilateral meeting between youth and Arab, moderated by Joanne Oala from UN Women and David Lawrence, Principal Advisor of the National Youth Development Authority, facilitated presentations from youth representatives speaking on various challenges faced by the youth of the country.
And when you think about the Papua New Guinea that you want your children to be in, what would you like them to not have to face that you had to face and have to face as someone?
Harnessing the power of technology. I think that's where we, developing country, we have challenges in ICT, internet access, especially in rural areas. It is a huge challenge for this country. How do we utilize the power of technology and even upskill in other provinces so that students, young people can have access to the same opportunities that young people in Pacific, and particularly in PNG, has the highest rates of internet disconnectivity.
Culturally, it is still seen as taboo to even talk about sex education. And it often forces our young women to drop out of school and face the difficulties of raising a child at a young age with limited financial and emotional support. This then in turn also contributes to the youth bulge in Papua New Guinea because young people who are not financially stable, financially independent are now starting to reproduce and have babies of their own.
Hardest part about what I do in my role is I select and screen projects for young people to implement across the country. And The other hardest part is when a project doesn't meet the project criteria or the grant criteria. You have to call them to tell them that your project doesn't meet the criteria, so you'll have to try again. My biggest hope at such times is if I have more money or more resources, I could have supported all these other projects. So going forward, young people are organizing, they are getting together and they're initiating ideas and projects in the community. And that lack of support is a big hindrance for these amazing ideas and initiatives to come to life.
Arab's visit strengthened partnerships with government officials, members of parliament, development partners, civil society organizations, youth organizations and grassroots women's groups celebrating PNG's significant progress while addressing ongoing challenges.
Contributing to the bilateral meeting, UN Women Country Representative Petersen Magola says some of the challenges highlighted by the youth during discussions.
Continue the advocacy agenda on these issues, and for the UN, I confidently speak on behalf of the UN system now, because we are here, that this area we are pushing as much as we can. That the young people begin engaging as early as possible with political parties. Because you look at the issue of financing of elections, getting young people into elections, it's really costly. And in most cases, going independent has been, really challenging for some of the people. So we engage, we support, and we encourage young people, can you please get into that space? Don't wait, start as early as possible. And, it may not be you, but I would encourage your peers to begin engaging as early as possible into that political space. It's a long way to go. So the earlier you begin engaging, the better some of these issues we are highlighting now of women not being into that space, the earlier we start it, the better.
Turning overseas, energy giant Santos says its carbon capture and storage project in the state's far north is a game changer for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. The company says it's so far been a success, but experts warn the technology is not the solution to addressing climate change.
Australian first on show. Santos, in a collaboration with Beach Energy, started its Moomba carbon capture and storage project, known as CCS, in October last year, and says it's so far been a success.
The project's working design is very successful. It proves we can do carbon capture and storage at scale.
CO2 is captured from the gas plant where water is removed. The carbon is compressed into liquid, transported and stored in old oil and gas reservoirs.
This state government is an ardent supporter and believer in the role that natural gas has to play in the decarbonisation of our economy more broadly, but also to underpin the industrialisation of our nation.
A 2023 report by the UN Environment Programme says that while CCS has a role to play in hard-to-transition industries, businesses shouldn't rely on it solely, labelling it a largely unproven and relatively costly technology. Some energy experts saying it's doing little in the fight against climate change, describing it as a drop in the ocean.
Carbon capture and storage has been around for 50 years, but all it's managed to capture at the moment globally is 10 million tonnes, and as I said, Australia pumps about 500 million tonnes into the atmosphere each year.
Santos says while the Moomba CCS qualifies for carbon credits, other projects wouldn't. It's something the company wants to change.
And I'm not asking for subsidies or grants to do that. We'll do it off our own back, and we just want to get the regulations and the approvals in place so we can do it. We support gas. We'll continue to support gas. There will be regulation. But we'll try and ensure that that regulation enables all of the potential opportunities to decarbonise.
The government says while carbon capture and storage is part of the plan, other technologies like hydrogen are needed to help reduce carbon emissions.
The Venice Architecture Biennale is known as the Olympics of Architecture, where top design professionals gather to share cutting-edge ideas on the world stage. This year, Australia will be represented by a team of First Nations creatives. As they prepare to travel halfway across the world, they're putting the final touches on the plan to take a piece of home with them.
Inside this studio, a home is under construction. But this home isn't anything like yours. The walls are rammed earth, the floor soft sand, and timber frames are slotted together to create display shelves. In just a few months, home will be installed as the Australian Pavilion at the International Architecture Biennale in Venice.
We'll be creating a large circular form within the centre of the exhibition space that will hold people together in conversation and through yarning.
Good flash? 7 First Nations designers, collectively known as Creative Sphere, beat out the competition for a coveted spot on the exhibition floor.
Yeah, cool.
We thought, what can we bring to Venice Biennale that no other country can bring? And that's First Nations ways of being and practicing in our culture, so the world's oldest living culture.
The final design has grown out of a collaborative process of sharing ideas, knowledge and professional experience.
We'll probably set up one like this, proper mark.
Through that process, it became very clear that place, country, our cultures and where we're from and where we live now are so important.
This version of home is a prototype. The Venetian iteration will be made using materials sourced from the local area.
We're working with the materials of Venice in a First Nations way, respecting that material, where it's come from, and embracing a circularity in the way that we work with it, with so much of the materials going back to country at the end of it.
Sustainable, locally sourced, so trying to reduce any transportation activities as well to reduce the carbon emissions that come and the embodied carbon that comes from architecture and the built environment and what can be a really unsustainable practice globally.
Uniquely Australian sounds and smells will permeate the space, and in stark contrast to the do not touch edicts doled out in modern day museums, here visitors are encouraged to use all their senses.
What we want people to do is touch it, to run their fingers across it, to smell it.
Your body should remember it, the feeling of walking through sand throughout the space, gently wafting eucalyptus at different moments. We want to impart a really memorable experience of home.
The Biennale opens in Italy's famed floating city in May.
News ends on that note. I'll join you on the other side with your news in sports. Stay tuned.
Digicel Business. We help grow your business with secure, reliable and cost-effective ICT solutions. We will manage your technology so you can power your vision for your business with the best solutions to offer. Accelerate your business growth with Digicel Business Cloud Solutions with cloud platform services, disaster recovery as a service and backup as a service. Talk to our cloud solutions experts today. Digicel Business. Better solutions for better business.
Join Digicel and enjoy the network that rewards you with a whole lot more. Activate a new Digicel prepaid SIM and get 2 gigs data plus 20 minutes free Digicel to Digicel talk for 3 months. Get your first month's reward instantly with no spend required. Spend 30 or more for your rewards in months 2 and 3. So what are you waiting for? Get your new SIM at any Digicel outlet or agent today and enjoy free talk and free data only with Digicel.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase EasyPay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Day One premieres Saturday, February 8th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Welcome back. Just over 2 weeks remaining for the 5th edition of Pacific Coast Sports Netball Series in Brisbane, Australia. PNG Peppers have unveiled a recent 17-woman team for the series. The netball series starts on February 17 and ends on the 22nd.
By two lovely ladies.
PNG Peppers have selected a good-looking side ahead of the coming Pacific All Sports Netball Series, headlined by Michaela Kadlesek, Kala Ali and Kailani Brazier. The selection also includes debutants Tina Poha and Alice Vagi amongst others. Although the team looks stacked with exciting young and experienced players in the final 17, some fans are scratching their heads about the omission of the two best PNG netball players of recent years, Marileka and Goloa Ovoa. Despite their omission, the PNG Netball Federation believes it has put up a decent team that can give a genuine crack at the Pacific All Sports Netball Series title. The best 17 include Kala Ali, Michaela Kadlesek, Rabunoka, Wayana Lankan, and Kailani Brazier in the shooters. The mid-quarters include Chloe Litherland, Millie, Sarah Harris, Yves Chi, and Alice Vagi. The defenders are Serena Ovia, Bronte Gross, Saris Apelis, Wavuri Lau, and Tina Poha. The teams that will be participating in the competition include PNG Peppers, Fiji Pels, Samoa Tifa Moana, and the four-time reigning Pacific All Sports Netball Series champions, Tonga Tala. Australian First Nations Black Swan is a returning domestic invitee, while Scottish Thistles are debutant invitee to the championship series. The PNG Peppers will be aiming for an improved performance in this netball series. The last international match was against South Brisbane Wildcats in December 2024 in Port Moresby. This invitational game was dominated by the visiting Wildcats. Rex Litter, TVWAN Sports.
Cricket PNG CEO Richard Dunn has fired back on cricket players, dispelling reports claimed by PNG representative players regarding their contracts. The PNG cricket players over the last 3 months have been alleging that Cricket PNG did not have them sign their contracts as full-time players. According to them, this has affected them and their families, resulting in the strike. Done in a press release said the Cricket PNG management remains committed to professionalism, accountability and transparency, and that they have followed international best practice standards in designing the new contracts.
After the ICC T20 World Cup in the West Indies last year, Cricket PNG has been in strife. Relationship between the playing group and CEO has been cold. Some employees took sides while others decided to remain neutral. Disharmony between the two parties came about when players alleged that CEO Richard Dunn has been mismanaging the Cricket PNG's money. A petition was served to Cricket PNG board in December last year to terminate Dunn from his contract. Instead, the board terminated C.E. Joang, the Cricket PNG physiotherapist, and Jake Vare, the PNG Garamud head coach, for pushing the petition. Almost 3 months ago, and both parties couldn't find a common ground. Amidst this tussle, the PNG Barramundis head coach Tatenda Taibu tendered his resignation and returned to England, citing family reasons. The players, besides making allegations on corruption, abuse of office and financial mismanagement, wanted their contracts dealt with professionally, as some say they have not been given a contract, while others cited discrepancies with the contracts. CEO of Cricket PNG, Richard Dunn, has refused these allegations, which were mostly leveled against him, stating that proper protocols was followed in issuing the contract for players. Dan said about 8 Barramundi players and 7 PNG Levels players signed their contracts following recommendations from their respective coaches. Cricket PNG Board Chairman Michael Harrison has strong support behind Dan, indicating that the allegations levelled against him are unfounded. Harrison said disgruntled players went to the media and not painted a bad image of him, but the reputation of the sport itself. Harrison said Cricket PNG acknowledges the contribution of national players and remains committed to providing necessary support to them. He said that Cricket PNG will continue to uphold best practices in contract management, player remuneration, and welfare initiatives to ensure the continued growth and success of the sports. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
And that's all we have for sports. Looking at the weather now.
Southern, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain over Milne Bay and Oro provinces. Port Moresby, partly cloudy with possible brief showers and thunderstorms. Momase, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lae, cloudy periods with few rain showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, isolated showers and thunderstorms. Lorengau and Kavieng, partly cloudy with possible few showers. Highlands region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain. Mount Hagen, Mendi, Tari and Wabeg, mostly cloudy with some rain showers and possible thunderstorm.
Wraps up another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Goodbye.